All right. We are here. We are here. We're still alive with the lunar eclipse in Taurus. And I'm going to talk to you about the astrology. I don't know, might be on here for an hour. And then we're going to go live again and do tarot tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So hope you join again for that. I do want to pull a card, a collective card at the end. So if you stay tuned to the end of this live broadcast, I'm going to pull a collective card for all of us. And you know what? I want to pull a card to see if we can get any insight on what's going on with the selection. And I'm just telling you, I've been on Twitter. I did a quick pop into Twitter, and um, wow, drama going on. So I will talk about how this energy is impacting us, towards the end on, relationships, resources, and, the world at large. Okay. And like I said, I'll pull a card at the end if you stay tuned till then. But for now, I want to give you just a brief, overview of the energy, and then I'm going to talk about the aspects, okay, and then we'll get into really how does this relate to the day-to-day with our relationships, our resources, the world at large. Okay, so I see some people. No, not yet. I'm filming this at an odd time of day, but hey, I got to get it out there, okay? I want to get it out there. So let me start by saying that, some people are calling this a blood moon, a frost moon, a beaver moon. Okay, good. Somebody's joining in. Thank you. Welcome. And I'm going to show you this card just to kind of get a feel for what the beaver moon is. Of course, this is kind of on steroids here because we're talking about an eclipse that this is happening in. So yeah, the card says creation, and I do think that there is a positive element to that. But as I've been saying for the last 2-ish weeks, since we're in eclipses, maybe now is not the time to launch. Definitely not at a full moon today when we are, ending something, releasing something, finding that something has come to fruition, culmination. I think a really good time to create something or to launch, even though you might be brimming with ideas right now, that would be on the 23rd when we have that new moon in Sagittarius. Please tune in then, because I'll go live again, God willing, with the astrology and tarot, and we'll get more insight. But between now and then, you could find yourself brimming with ideas about what do you want to create. And this is coming from a space of, how do I boost my income? How do I manage my resources better? How do I use my assets and my valuables and my talents in a way that is to my best advantage? And so I think the message of this beaver moon is to be industrious, be creative, be a problem solver, be resourceful. And so there's a lot of push, even though there's a lot of unrest, because we're talking about eclipses, right? A lot of push to become that way, okay? To become more resourceful and industrious, and maybe look at creating a reserve for yourself if you don't already have one, and these themes of preparing and preserving, right? Because this is kind of like, generally beaver moons are bringing in an energy of kind of, this preparing before the winter. So think about that. Is that an omen? Is there a winter coming? Not just literally, but metaphorically. Lean times when you're not going to be able to go out and get your harvest, right? You need to, in some way at this time, look at how you can strengthen your home, your household, your roots, because it is likely that the people who are not taking heed right now, or definitely by now, I've been sounding the alarms since 2020 about prepping, okay? But particularly now with this beaver moon, if you are not taking heed now, you could find that you are regretting it later, because you may suffer later. And I know some of you, you know, are, everything's going great, and you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, okay? And I'm sorry, but some of y'all are like, you know, the people that were on the Titanic, you know, listening to the band play while the ship was sinking. Okay, you thought someone's gonna come and rescue you. Oh, I've got plenty of time. This could never sink. Oh, it'll never happen here. No, 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 no. Okay, prepare now is the message of the Beaver Moon. Now, there are some opportunities with this energy for us to simplify our lives, redefine our goals, maybe even reclaim something of value that we lost. But the challenge of this energy is letting go, particularly of dysfunction, what's not working, unworkable situations in our lives, which hopefully the last 2 weeks, bitter pill as it may have been to swallow, you know, you got some news flashes that ain't working out over there, and I'm not gonna make that work with that person, and you know, it is what it is, okay? Taurus energy that we're dealing with right now is about looking at the, you know, facts, looking at reality, the reality checks. But on the positive note, you know, we have an opportunity here to resolve conflicts constructively, but again, some people can't see the bigger picture. Some people are getting swallowed up by these energies, and they can't or won't do that. So just be aware of who's going to get into constructive conflict resolution at this point and who's not. Also, be cautious of people who are being very impulsive right now, people who are misguided right now, people who are clinging on to their shadow selves and maybe even overestimating themselves, their own abilities. And I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, but again, sober reality checks is what we're all dealing with. And some people might have some false optimism. And again, I don't want to, you know, discourage anybody. I do want to be an encourager, but at the same time, I do feel that false optimism is more dangerous than pessimism, because at least with pessimism you can prepare, and that's the message of the Beaver Moon. Prepare, okay? Because winter is coming. You might not see it right now, you might not be living in it right now, but winter's coming is the message of that Beaver Moon. So look at the reality checks that you've been getting, particularly over the last 2 weeks, most definitely since last November, about a year ago, when the nodes shifted into Scorpio and Taurus, because it's been there. The energy the whole time has been saying, look at this over here. Yeah, that's not going to work. This person's not going to work. And as negative as that sounds, it really shines a light on what is going to work for you. It helps to show you the path forward. And so on the positive, this is a time when we can look at the possibilities. We can finalize plans, maybe later, okay, after taking this current moment to consider the possibilities based in reality, based on the reality checks. And if you're looking for a time to finalize plans, like I said, November 23rd with the new moon in Sagittarius, I think would be an excellent time to do that and to launch something new and set off on a new path, because we're still, right, the energies are really shaky right now. There's still a lot of being revealed and a lot of unrest going on. For example, like I've been raring to go to launch a second Aquarius only channel, and I thought about doing a political astro tarot channel as well, but I won't give myself permission to do it until November 23rd with the new moon in Sagittarius. That's very likely going to be my launch date, FYI, if you're looking for that content. Because I'm respecting the energies, and I'm being present with what is to be dealt with in the here and now. Everything in its proper season, right? You prepare and you preserve during harvest season. You don't do that in winter. You've missed the boat by then, right? Look at also over the last 2 weeks with these eclipses that we're currently in right now, okay? And also just over the last year with the eclipses being in Taurus and Scorpio, look at the relationship testing that's been going on, because whatever problems have been coming up, realize that they're very likely pre-existing, okay? These energies didn't make them happen, okay? They brought them to the surface. They magnified what was already there to get you to look at the reality of what is out of balance in your life, and to push you to rebalance things and find that balance. But wow, what was I gonna say? The hormones. That's a wild. Where did that come from? Okay, so I'm getting something about like people. Some people might. I don't know where I got something about a hormonal imbalance. Okay, that's wild. All right. Some of you might be dealing with people that, okay, now I'm getting chemical imbalance. Okay, so just be aware, and I'm not saying that this is right, I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying some people might, around this time, strike you as they've got some kind of hormonal or chemical imbalance. It's the energies, okay? It's the energies, all right? But anyway, what I meant to say was that these nodes are highlighting our need to find alignment with our life purpose destiny. And really look at how is the matrix, society at large, the authorities, the rituals, the laws, the structures, how is this, pushing you to do otherwise, right? I've had a lot of pressure in my relationships lately, and with these Taurus and Scorpio issues of shared resources, personal income, just a little bit of personal sharing, where I've had some family members come out and say, you should just quit your work here. You should just quit YouTube. It's a losing battle. You should just go get a job, because they don't. In this matrix, the matrix does not really reward us doing our life purpose destiny. The matrix rewards us doing, when I say matrix, I'm saying the society, this culture, this construct that we're living in, it rewards people doing it for the money, doing what pays the bills. If it means I have to go do something that is not in alignment with my life purpose destiny, well, there's the money there to back it. And if I'm doing what my purpose is, and that's not really supported in this matrix, then everybody kind of gets on it, right? And some of you might find this relatable, what I'm saying, because some of you are stuck in jobs or careers that is not you. It's not authentic to who you are. But you're trying to keep those lights on. And we know that happened over the last 2 years. People did stuff, right, that they knew in their conscience they were not supposed to be doing. But they exchanged their health, they exchanged their right to bodily autonomy for a paycheck. And so all of us collectively, in one way or another, whether my example relates to you or not, we as a society are seeing how we need to find balance with these issues that are sometimes at odds. Right, the need for consistency in our income versus the need to change the way we get that consistency in income. How it's not either or, it's how do I balance this out? Or this issue of collecting versus sharing. Yes, I need to collect and accumulate value in this 3D realm. But how do I share it with others without being depleted, being taken advantage of? So there are issues And I hope that I'm not cutting out, because I can see something going off here with the lighting. But y'all let me know in the comments if you're having trouble hearing me or seeing me, because something is like clicked off with my camera. So anyway, I think with this energy, there are issues of dependency and self-worth, particularly with where the North Node is right now. We are probably dealing with some personal crisis in our lives, and even collectively, where we're being forced to realize our own needs and wants. And there is an awareness within each of us that is awakening, either to severing or fortifying relationships that lend themselves towards supporting what we need and want. We're also, with the South Node and Sun in Scorpio, we're having to deal with dysfunction and toxicity that's being brought to light. We're having to look at it and face it, and, issues of lack, that's being illuminated, and needs and desires are also being highlighted with these energies. So we're having to look at, like I said before, at what's not working, and what's not true, and what's not grounded, and what's not based in reality right now. And also, we're awakening to power games, power dynamics in relationships, whether we're talking interpersonal or professional, or the world at large with the authorities. But just a reminder, there's power in numbers, America, right? But unfortunately, we're dealing with, and I'm speaking to the Americans, mostly when I say this, because I can't speak for cultures elsewhere, but over here we do have a culture of every man for himself, and that has not, there's pros and cons with that, right? We are now dealing with issues of connection, intimacy, authenticity, trust, insecurity, issues of disempowerment, resource management, of mismanagement of resources. And that has brought us to a place where people are now questioning, am I on a solid foundation? Was this foundation ever solid? How do I get my foundation solid? So we're going to talk about these issues, because that's just a general overview. We'll talk about how these issues pertain to relationships, resources, the world at large at the end. And if you're just now joining in, like I said, I will pull some cards. But let me talk in more detail about these aspects. And I hope that y'all can see me, because I am, I see that people are in here, and thanks to those of you who liked. But yeah, my camera is a little bit dim, and so I hope y'all can see me and hear me. I hope y'all let me know in the comments down below. But let's talk about how part of the energy today is the end of the Saturn-Uranus square, which we had 3 of those last year, right? In 2021, we had one on February 17th, then June 14th, and December 23rd. So now we're in the final one. And this has brought a lot of energy pushing us to find our freedom, okay? Having us look at foundationally what is not there, what is not solid, and what's been damaged, okay? And what repairs need to be made in order to just pick up the pieces and build a solid foundation in our lives. So a lot of us are assessing our own values, our mindsets around values, and even looking at matters of trust and reliability and whatever we are connecting ourselves to. Somebody commented, thank you. Okay, thank you. They say, hey, I see you, great. Thank you so much. Dimitri, I think it is. And I apologize if I mispronounced your name, because I'm not seeing entirely on the screen, but nevertheless, I think that this is bringing us into situations, circumstances where we're having to figure out our own inherent value regardless of money. Do you bring resources? Are you resourceful? Do you show up? Even when it's not convenient or comfortable, do you share in other people's struggle and their sacrifices in a meaningful way to them, and vice versa, right? These, I think, are important considerations for determining what your path ahead is and who's coming with you on that journey. Whatever has blocked you, think about that. Give it a good, solid look, okay? Because whatever that is helping you, maybe on the positive, to refine or fine-tune those plans, those goals. So keep this in mind, as you are reflecting on the disappointments and the harsh reality checks that you've been getting along with others, right? It all can be used, it can all be used for good in making solid plans in the future, okay? And yeah, okay. Thanks to those of you who are commenting. I appreciate it. And so, with the Moon North Node conjunct Uranus exact, okay, wow, and Taurus, this is a time that if you do feel overwhelming feelings, you need to let them out, okay? But again, of course, obviously, try to do it constructively, okay? This is a time that you can sit with these feelings, you can realize and share with others your own emotional needs. That's a higher use of this energy. But if you have had relationships that over the last 2 weeks particularly have been challenged, or something, there's been some breakdown in the relationships or the communications, this is a time when, moving forward over the next 6 months, you could strengthen and restore those relationships if you want to. And right, obviously they have to want to as well, but you are going to get some people that are very low vibrational. They're not aware. They're going to get caught up in the drama, the chaos, because, just a reminder, right now it is very emotionally charged. We're all collectively being pushed to make a constructive change by seeing the path ahead more clearly, more soberly. And so consider the last 2 weeks for yourself. What has this buildup, right? Because this is a crescendo here. What has this buildup shown you about what needs to change in your life, or what's out of balance and needs to be balanced? What do you need to let go and release of in your life? The last 2 weeks have shown you, if you're paying attention. And again, like I said before, it's for many of us not just the last 2 weeks, although the last 2 weeks have been really hectic. I mean, for me personally, it's been an eye-opener, and I'm a Taurus rising, by the way. So, but again, if you go back a year ago when the nodes shifted, when we had our first eclipse in this axis of Taurus and Scorpio, it's been going on the whole last year. So take a look at that moving forward, okay? Also, with the North Node in Taurus conjunct Uranus, it's showing us that there's some kind of adjustment or adaptation that's required in you moving forward. Where, yeah, a lot of people feel like they want to get on to the next new thing, or they're very oriented toward their personal gain and what's in it for me. They want to move on, they want to move up, they want to create ways to overcome blockages and challenges. But again, reality in Taurus, reality checks. You have to move forward constructively with 2 feet on the ground, right? With these things in mind. Also with the Sun, South Node, Mercury, and Venus in Scorpio, this is us seeing and knowing what old values and old value systems and attachments need to be released. So there could be some kind of epiphany that you've come into over the last 2 weeks, even today or in the following days. Really, again, eclipse energies can span over the next 6 months, but it's really highlighted right now where there's some type of epiphany that is maybe occurring, or a clearing of air. Just be careful with your words and be mindful of the insights and the revelations that you've been divinely getting, those downloads, right, over the last 2 weeks. So if you want to know more specifically where these epiphanies and insights are probably in the divine downloads, where they're occurring, look at the house that the South Node and the Sun are in right now for you. And I'll probably talk more about that tonight when I go live. Because I'm going to get into the astrology, right? When I pull the cards, I'm going to get into the astrology. So that's going to show you where, the energies have been focusing, making, putting a spotlight, making you look at the truth of things. And then wherever the moon is in your chart, which we'll talk about tonight when I go live on tarot, well, where the moon is it's going to show you where, you need to be releasing these energies. You need to be letting things go, okay? So that you can move on in your rightful path. Just keep in mind, and I've been saying this a lot, Mars is in Gemini and it's retrograde. So, there's a lot of meanness, there's a lot of verbal abuse going on right now, unexpected lashing out. You've probably dealt with it over the last 2 weeks. I've dealt with people just out of left field, told me to F off, and I'm like, what? But I'm sitting here talking to you in a civil tone. I thought we were reasoning with one another. How does this come up now, Actually, no, 3 people. I had 3 people lash out at me over the last 2 weeks. And in all 3 instances, I wasn't yelling at them. I wasn't being mean or anything. It was just people doing that sort of thing. So just be aware. It's an energy that is gonna pass, but it's really volatile right now for a lot of people. Again, who they're getting sucked into the energies and they don't see the bigger picture. They don't understand what's going on, and they don't know how to leverage these energies to their highest use. Okay. Also gossip, trash talking of others. I have found things out. I have connected some dots over the last 2 weeks, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's why that person who I've never done anything wrong to in my life, and doesn't know me from Jack, is treating me like a piece of shit because somebody was talking about me. That's great. But it revealed cracks in the foundation of certain relationships, and I'm like, okay, noted. I see what's going on here. We got to work on this. And, also breakdowns of communication, misunderstandings, again, because maybe people are just so flippant with their emotions, or they're getting triggered emotionally with their own insecurities, that they just start popping off and, leaking resentment, leaking anger. I've seen a lot of that. So you could see very destructive outbursts in people, sudden shifts in tone, like I said, where you think it's like, where did this come from? Out of left field. Like, what just happened here? I thought we were having a civil conversation and now you're attacking me. And how did we get here? This is bizarre, that type of thing. So, another thing with Mars and Gemini retrograde is that, there is, I think, some collective resentment going on, anger about unrealized prosperity. And that might be coming from conflicting or limiting beliefs that, each of us have to resolve within ourselves in order to get expansion. Many of us, particularly, I'm going to say this for the Aquarians with Saturn and Aquarius, and I am an Aquarius Sun, midheaven, and Mercury. I said to somebody recently, I feel just like, if I were to put it in a nutshell, this feeling that I have, and I think this applies to really humanity, right? Saturn and Aquarius, whether you're Aquarius or not, but most definitely if you're Aquarius, if I were to like put in a nutshell how I feel with this Saturn and Aquarius energy, in one word, the word would be reduced. Reduced. And so many of you are feeling reduced right now. Some of you just want something new and better, but you're not clear within yourself as to why you don't have it or how to get it. And my personal thoughts, I'm just going to share with you my own prayer and meditation time. I feel like I have been shown the issue is idealism, many of us being confronted with the way it is, right, Taurus, versus the way you want it to be, or the way you think you need it to be, or the way it should be, dealing with the reality of things soberly versus wasting time in relationships arguing about what isn't, right? I think constructively, if you are getting into a lot of verbal combativeness with people, the best way to handle this constructively is both parties need to accept what is. You can have your apologies. I'm sorry I didn't live up to your expectations. I'm sorry I can't live up to your expectations. Yeah, it's not fair, but here's what I can do. How about you? What can you do? And deal with what is. I think that's the most constructive way. But again, you have a lot of people that are low vibrational, people that are, their level of consciousness is very low, and being constructive is like nowhere in their, right? No compute. All right, so I'm going to talk now about how this is more translating into the relationships and resources with money, career, and then we'll close out with the world, how this is going to impact the world at large. As here in America, we're on selection day, right? And I was on Twitter, by the way, earlier. Ooh, I'm going to check in with that in just a moment, and I will pull cards. I'm going to pull some cards collectively for us, okay, at the end, if you stay tuned to the end. And I'm going to pull some cards on predictions of what's going to go on with this election. Okay, but let me say with relationships right now and this energy, I think a lot of people are feeling like their contribution is overlooked, maybe not valued, not good enough. And as I said before, a lot of people holding on to ideals of what should be, or the way they want it to be, or the way it used to be, or whatever, anything but the way it is. And dealing with the facts of, look, this is what we have to work with. Is this workable? Can we work with this? That type thing, being constructive. But instead of dealing with reality and what is working or workable, you have a lot of people right now who are projecting their own insecurities onto others. And I've gotten this in some of my relationships, people saying, you expect too much, it's always something, it's never enough, blah blah blah. Well, maybe actually you need to give more, or maybe I don't need to ask from you because you don't have it to give. But I'm going to say this. I think that when people are saying these things like it's always something, you expect too much, it's never enough, really, again, if I listen to their spirit and what their spirit is communicating, I really feel like what they're saying to me is I don't have it to give, or I'm afraid of losing what I have. Again, insecurity. So I think that in our relationships, a lot of us need to address insecurity issues. That's the core issue. And until you deal with this stuff is never gonna, right? And just a friendly reminder, without trust, a relationship cannot endure. So if you are dealing with people in relationships who are showing you that there's mistrust, there is resentment, there is insecurity and it's being projected onto others, you may have to consider, can I restore this relationship, or do I have to let it go? You know, do I have to sever ties, or is there an ability to, you know, to heal this situation? And some of you could be meeting some new people, definitely coming into, you know, that new moon in Sagittarius around the 23rd. And again, those of you who are severing ties and realizing, you know, I'm out of alignment with my relationships. I need to get better. I need to find new people in my life who are more, you know, they're more in alignment with my life purpose, with my authenticity. I need to get new relationships with people where trust can be built and maintained. Well, you know, that's something that I think moving forward we're going to have to pay attention to, reciprocation in our exchanges moving forward, whether it's with somebody old or somebody new. And again, looking out for people who are leaking resentment, because again, I'm going to speak mostly to the Americans here because I'm an American, right? But if it applies to you in other countries, apply it. Here in America, a lot of people play zero-sum games, win-lose games, where, you know, if you have to lose in order for them to win, they're okay with it. Every man for himself. And so if you're dealing with somebody who has this attitude in their relationships, that they're in it for what they can get out of it, and they're not willing to make an exchange, they're not willing to reciprocate, and the moment you ask for your needs to be met, you get some kind of resentment or suspicion or whatever, you need to boundary those people out, okay? You need to do that. And in love, I think also, you know, we're looking at, because of the insecurity, which, as far as I can tell, being on this rock for damn near 50 years now, we're at an all-time high of insecurity issues, run rampant to such a degree that if you are single and dating, we are dealing with an epidemic of people who are commitment phobic, love adverse, and it's because of the insecurity that is unresolved within people. So, you know, some of you got to heal that within yourself, and then determine within yourself to only commit yourself to those who are committed, and to trust the trustworthy, and to rely upon the reliable. The last 2 weeks, and really frankly the last year, should have shown you who those people are. Bitter of a pill as it probably was for you to swallow, right? I got some in the face, right, with that. But hey, we know the truth, and based on the truth, we can build a more solid foundation from here in the path ahead. That's the good news about the bad news. All right, so I think I missed a comment. I may have missed a comment. Hey, T. Witten's here. Good to see you. We are not on a sign. We're doing signs tarot tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm doing the astrology right now. T. Witten says, frankly, I'm sober healing. People, bring the fire. I'll choose a mate after who survived their purifying fire. Hey, I'm with you on that. I am so with you. And I do believe that we are stepping into a fire. We're in the midst of a fire, okay? And a lot of people aren't making the cut, sadly, okay? And some of you may feel, as do I, very unsupported, very much having to face it alone. You're realizing maybe some people you relied upon, you trusted, not reliable, not trustworthy. They're gonna do what is to their advantage, even if it costs you. They're going to do what is convenient and comfortable for them, no matter how displaced or discomforting it may be to you. And that's hurtful. That really is. But again, you know, out of those painful revelations, we realize, okay, so I need to do better. I need to create a better support system in my life. I need to make better alignments. Yeah, if I can work on healing these relationships, fine. If I can't, I can't, right? And we can't heal people. We can't do their work for them. But we can stop the pain, is my personal experience. Like, you know, whatever the lessons are from the last 2 weeks, don't repeat it, right? If somebody showed you they're not reliable, don't rely on them anymore. If somebody showed you that they're not going to keep their word, especially when it's inconvenient and it's uncomfortable, yet don't take them at their word, right? Just rack them up with the rest of the bullshit artists, and there's plenty of them out there. Okay. T Wit is saying, is everyone insane? There is no mate to choose from. Oh wait, no, I know, I hear you, T Witten. I mean, I'm so with you on this. Like, I, I, again, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer, a negative Nancy, but me personally, I have come to accept that perhaps my lot in life is to not find someone right now, because you have so many people who are so broken, and there's no intimacy, there's no authenticity, there's no, again, every man for himself. And when you're dealing with this level of insecurity, nobody will commit to anybody for anything. Or if they do, like I said, they will do it as long as it serves them. And the moment it doesn't, the moment it costs them or it's inconvenient or comfortable, they're out. And you know, if you find yourself where you're like, wow, slim pickings, I don't have much left, right? You're going to have to, right, figure out how to ally yourself, I don't know, with friends, social groups, professional groups, I don't know. But we are going to have to get over this collectively. And until we do, like I said, don't commit to the uncommitted, don't trust the untrustworthy, don't rely upon the unreliable. And the last 2 weeks should have shown you who those people are. Hate to say it. I want to say on money, okay, and I will, by the way, I am going to pull some cards on this world stuff, and I'm doing a collective, right, card draw at the very end. But let me say about money, because I think I said everything pretty much about relationships and people, right, and love, right. But on the money issue, you know, which I honestly, it's all related, right? The money is a lot of why people are insecure within themselves and in their relationships. The fear of being exploited, taken advantage, tapped out, drained. What's going on with these nodes in these money houses? I should say they're not houses, signs. There's a change of value that's occurring, right? We're all having a shift in values and priorities, and I think definitely by mid next year, we're going to see patterns of consumerism changing. And I don't know if you've already been seeing it. I've seen it within myself, where you're practicing more minimalism, more frugality, more conservatism, or conservation is maybe the word I want to say. You know, in 2020, 2021, I was doing more stockpiling type stuff, but when those nodes shifted, all of a sudden my focus got into how much does this cost out of pocket? You know, I've been shopping at Dollar Tree. Like, I'd never really shopped there except maybe for a couple items, but you know, by the way, if you gotta have stocks, put it into Dollar Tree or these little stores like this, these little dollar stores that you probably make a lot of money. I think people are going to be buying more of this, like looking at holding on to more cash rather than, right, in 2020, 2021, I was doing a lot of stockpiling, and now I'm just like this. So I am just getting just enough to get by. The status quo is changing, okay? You know, right now I'm seeing a lot of people who are repurposing things, rethreading. Like my daughter, she's been doing events where she resells used clothes, and she'll go to the bins at Goodwill, and she gets the clothes that all the Goodwills in Austin didn't sell, and they're selling for pennies. Okay, she buys the clothes according to weight, and then she sells them at a pop-up tent, and people buy these used clothes. Okay, so you're getting things like vintage clothing movements, thrifting, flipping, dumpster diving, zero waste type practices. You have more people who are getting into this and will be over the next 6 months. And so I think materially, which, we can't not talk about that when we're talking about Taurus. This is an energy where we've got to get our homes in order as best as we can. We've got to position ourselves to weather the coming storm of 2023, where you're lowering your expenses, you are lessening your spending, and you are assembling a team of trustworthy, reliable members, whether it's, family, friends, life partners, business partners, whomever. You have to figure this out, because there's power in numbers, right? And there's power in agreement. And that's why the people who are creating this artificial scarcity, this manufactured scarcity, right? There's no shortage of oil in the world. There's no shortage. Leo King was talking about that today. Y'all need to go check out Leo King if you want to know more about the astrology. By the way, he put out 2 excellent reports on his channel about this energy, this lunar eclipse energy, and also the history of this energy. Sweet Jesus, it was revelatory. It's rare. You're not going to find this content anywhere else. And I'm not going to go on a tangent about that, but the people who have created this artificial scarcity of resources, they want us divided. They want us fighting each other. They want us blaming each other. They want us thinking that our fellow American or fellow, the people over the seas in Russia, Ukraine, Europe, wherever, you name it, that they're the problem. Oh, no. It's these globalists who did this, okay? They want us divided and fighting one another, like, right, making an enemy out of each other, rather than fighting the real enemy, the people who have been rigging this monetary system. And that's also why they want us selling our health and our life mission for these devalued dollars, right? I'm going to go on a tangent on that, but I'm just going to say, I've been warning people since 2020 to stockpile, I've been warning people that the dollar is being devalued. I've said so much, and you might be like me and feeling like, people are not listening to you. And so again, if that's you, then this might be a time where you need to look at, severing ties with people like that, or just trying to make more of a conscious effort to surround yourself with people who don't need to be convinced, right? Don't think you're Looney Tunes for saying, hey, the Titanic's going down, right? Sometimes I feel like Noah, building the ark, and everybody's like, well, there she goes again, watching too much Alice Jones. It's like, Spirit will warn you. Spirit gives you plenty of warning, okay? All right, I'm going to get off that money trip, all right? I've been saying it all throughout. You know the drill. Either you're going to do it, either you're going to prepare and preserve, or you're not. It is what it is. Okay, the world at large. Let me say, Right now, as I am going live, it is selection day in America, and Twitter has been absolutely lit up. I'm going to check who's trending right now, but if you don't know, I I really into politics. So, and I go under another alter ego, Warrior Woman 212. I'm at Warrior Woman 212 on Twitter. So if you want to connect with me there for that type of stuff, you can, because I really let it go, especially with Elon Musk over there. But yeah, I'm looking at, what's going on, and I'm seeing that there's a lot of reporting going on Twitter of people saying, that things are going on, you know, at the voting booths. Okay, big surprise, right? And get your popcorn out. Enjoy the show, because I'm going to tell you, it's going to be fireworks with this energy. All right. Let me say, here in America specifically, this eclipse is impacting the United States 11th and 6th houses. Okay. The Sun, Mercury, South Node are in the United States natal 11th house. The Moon in Scorpio is hitting the United States 6th house. So what this means basically is that there is truth coming out, okay? And it's coming out on social media. 11th house is very Aquarian, social media, online. Also with Elon Musk, Twitter, definitely go over there, because I think at this point, and connect with me on there, because then I'll connect you with other people who are in the know. All right. But there's definitely truth coming out, spotlight being put on things having to do with, particularly this energy. It would have to do with Congress. It would have to do with foreign affairs, and with the Moon in the 6th house, this is people getting pretty emotional about everyday matters concerning food, families, cost of living. Just working class people, everyday people. Matter of fact, I've seen some videos of people at voting booths saying, hey, I've never before voted red, but I'm doing so this year. And they said, why? Why did you vote red when you're a Democrat? And the people are saying it's because of the cost of living. It's because of what's going on with everyday people, and how, they don't agree what's happening with the economy. So, right, people, I've heard it said, people vote with their pocketbooks, and I think that's what is happening. So, also, with this, with the Sun, Mercury, South Node in the 11th house, this is about secrets coming out concerning death, loss of life, also use of taxpayer money, and debt, okay? We also, with this energy, have Uranus in the North Node in the 5th house, and Venus and Taurus in the 12th house. Okay, so, and this, what I'm talking about, the natal chart of America. Okay, so we're looking at money markets, banking, financial system being impacted here, where a lot of changes going on with those arenas, and also fertility rates, unexpected random changes happening that's been coming out, that there's an infertility crisis now. Surprise, surprise. Post this, people are now reporting record high level infertility rates. Okay. Also talk about children who have gone through that. Oh, I got some cards here. I'm going to get them in just a second. Children who are getting this, being targeted for that. That's, a lot of twists and turns coming up, an upheaval coming up with that issue. News reports talking about population in decline. This whole gender reassignment topic that has been so controversial. That's a hot topic, where, again, which way is this going to go? It could be very pivotal with Uranus in the North Node in that 5th house. Okay, so also, 5th house can have to do with celebrities like Hollywood, and you notice Kanye West has been in the news, people like that who are bringing some kind of radical shift, radical change, some type of awakening, or maybe even reforms coming in, because people are getting awakened to a different way of seeing things. And speaking to Venus in Taurus, in the 12th house for America, for the United States, this is about things, whatever nourishes and gives life here, whatever we are attached to. Well, there have been secrets about this that are coming out. There have been 12th house is a lot about secrets and sorrows, okay? It's also about suppression of information, things that have been hidden. So again, some people might have been married to certain ideas or concepts about the way it is, or the way it should be, or the way, whatever. But it's time to let that go, because I think what can be coming out is that perhaps some of those ways of thinking have caused self-sabotage. And also coming into an awareness of hidden enemies, national secrets. And I think most specifically, we will be hearing about this type of national secrets in the context of intelligence agencies in the 12th house, okay? Like the Department of Justice, FBI, that's been on Twitter, where they've talked about, right, corruption going on. They've also talked about hospitals during 2020 who were getting government kickbacks for prescribing remdesivir. Yes, I butchered the name on purpose. You understand why. And putting them on ventilators, okay? And I'm not going to comment on that here, but you can go online, you can research it. Wasn't helpful for people. And yet people got very filthy rich off of it, okay? Also, when we're talking about 12th house matters, we're also talking about issues of human trafficking. And I know that that's been, right with the border, that's been a big, hot topic in the selections today, that people have said they shifted, they voted red because they don't like the way the border and the human trafficking is being handled. But also 12th house can have to do with, the restrictions, the limitations that have been going on since 2020 with the lockdowns. And it can also, when we're talking about Venus and how people are being nourished, okay? Dealing with unemployment, dealing with food pantries, dealing with people in need and in the midst of a food crisis. So, yeah, I dropped these cards, and let me see if I can get them. All right. So, yeah, just a reminder again. Oh, let me say, coming into November 21st through the 23rd, Mars retrograde in Gemini is going to be conjunct the United States natal chart. The United States natal Mars in Gemini at 21 degrees in the 7th house. So prepare for challenges. And oddly, I heard Kill Bates, right? We know what I'm talking about. He announced some time ago that this selection would be hung, okay? We're going to see what the cards say in just a moment, all right? But I am seeing, with this energy, November 21st through the 23rd, and the way it's hitting the United States natal chart, there could be some challenges that come up post this selection, where it has to do with challenges coming from globalists, international interests. So also keep a lookout for attack on manufacturing, maybe food manufacturers, more talk of the Russia-Ukraine situation going on over there, money being spent, debt, misuse, abuse of taxpayer funds. whatever it is that comes out November 21st through the 23rd, I think it's going to make some national, international headlines. And during the same time, Pluto in Capricorn is going to be conjunct the United States natal Pluto in Capricorn in the second house. And this will be opposing Mercury in Cancer in the eighth house. Again, this is very Taurus Scorpionic vibe here. Okay, so there could definitely, we could be coming into over the next week some kind of unfortunate national, international news event that is causing some kind of level of disagreement, discord, and it might be concerning mega corporations, woke corporations, right? Like I know there was some thing recently on Twitter where all the woke corporations said we're not going to have any more, we're pulling our ads from Twitter. And people are like, good riddance. And actually now Twitter is reporting a record high user engagement because, you know, people are pushing back on these woke corporations running the show and running in lockstep with their little rainbow flag agendas and all of that. And, you know, their drag queen kitty shows and grooming and all of that. Oh shit, damn, I gotta watch my words on here. Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't just say that. YouTube. Okay, my bad. It could also have to do with shipping, nuclear war. Okay, continue talk about that. Okay, and so just a reminder, particularly with these energies that we're coming into over the next week or so. Be careful with misinformation, corruption involving people in authority, particularly in the financial system and the government. Most especially mayors, governors, on matters of death, debt, public spending, foreign aid. The topics that might come up during this time might have to do with the insurance industry, death care, hospice care, nursing home abuse. I'm in a flow on that, okay? But you could also astrologically see issues coming up having to do with pensions, Social Security, UBI, Universal Basic Income, stimulus, those issues coming up with these energies. So I think the advice, right, this is, I'll show you what came out while I was shuffling, all right? The perfection of your life, all right? I'm hearing all things work together. And this is going to be a Christian scripture. All things work together for them that love the Lord, okay, and are called according to his purpose. That is a scripture. And I know some of you may not be Christian here, so let me just relate it to you in different words, okay? What this basically means is that it's all coming together for your benefit. I know that it doesn't feel like it, right? In the truth, you know, we find things out we don't want to hear that are painful. We find out it's not going to be easy, but actually it sends us down a path that is in the alignment with the truth, and it causes us to come into alignment with our authenticity. So try to I'm hearing something also about connect the dots, okay? Connect the dots. All of this is showing you a clear path, right? Whatever's not working, whatever's been harsh, it is showing you, it is illuminating to you what is going to work by showing you what is not, okay? It is showing you the truth by showing you what is not. It is showing you what is reliable by showing you what is not. I've also got these fell out, and this is what I picked up on the ground. Focus on the light. Well, I was just saying that. What's the light? The light is the truth. Sometimes it's not the truth you want to hear, but it's the truth you need to hear, okay? Seeing the true you. I just spoke that about your authenticity. You being who God destined and predetermined you to be and decreed you to be from the beginning of time. You being who you are at your highest expression, not you being who this world tells you to be. Where is your social security number? Let's see, you know, your mask. Where's your card, right? Get in line. Take a number. Not that person. Have faith in the process is also what you're being asked to do at this time. Restore and replenish. Wow, that is like so to me, Taurus, okay? Some of you might feel like that woman right there where you're all alone, but it's like she's cocooned there, okay? She's in the fetal position. That's kind of stark in a way. But look at everything that's going on around her. That's life. That is growth. Some of you need to heal from disappointments about what isn't and what is not going to be. And get on with it, okay? I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I'm in the midst of it. And like I said before, look at what you can restore and replenish, particularly in your relationships. The insecurities, the mistrust, the lack of reliability in people. And if you can heal and restore that, then do it. But if you can't, maybe it's time to boundary people out, sever your ties, cut your losses now, and make more of a conscious effort to come into better alignment with other people, particularly as we get into the 23rd of this month. I'm going to pull a card and see what's going to happen with the U.S. selection. What is going to happen with the U.S. selection today? Today, please show me, Spirit, what is going to happen? Please show me. I just heard deliberation. Oh, look at that. Someone's pushing back. There's a lot of adversity here, and somebody's going to defend, and oh wow, the Hierophant is representative of Taurus, and it's a full moon in Taurus, lunar eclipse. This is about tradition, okay? What's traditional here is that we don't fight tradition. Oh, but now we do. Now we do. Somebody might be defending the way it's always done, and why are you questioning this? Right? This is like questioning the priest, the almighty selection officials, right? Don't question that. Honestly, I feel like there's a lot of defensive energy today, okay? People defending their beliefs. Anything more? Anything more? Anything more about, you know, Kill Gates might be onto something. You think this dude has a crystal ball. I think he's just got a bank account that is too big, too damn big, if you ask me, okay? This is, you know, Kill Gates said this will be a hung selection. And that's a card there about, oh God, there's Aquarius. Yeah, and this is humanity, okay? This is a very stagnant energy. This is like a timeout. It almost seems like, I don't know that we're going to get an answer. I'm not getting a clear win or clear, I feel somebody defending their beliefs. Defending status quo. Nope, we're the authorities. This is what we told you, and this is the way it is. And I'm getting that humanity, the collective, is left on hold. We'll see. Okay? I thank y'all for joining me. Like I said, I am going to go live tonight for tarot for these signs. All signs were requested except Gemini. So I will go live at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope you will join me then. Thank you so much for tuning in. Y'all have a great afternoon. See you this evening.